Hi budget babes, hi budget bros, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, you guys. I am a budget coach that makes budgeting simple and easy for you. In today's video, you guys, I'm gonna jump straight into it. I am going to challenge you guys to see if you could save $1,000 by Christmas time. So if you see by the title of this video, you guys, we're going to be talking about how to save $1,000 within 5 months, which is about $200 per month. And before you guys scroll off the video, wait. I can see you guys right now. I don't have $200 left over at the end of each month. I don't have $200 left over. I don't want to hear it, budget babes, because there is a possibility that you do. So we are going to talk about how you're going to save $1,000 at the end of each month. Or $1,000 before January. Of course, we're starting in August to January, and I low-key want to do like a challenge. Like, if you guys, whoever like finishes the challenge, I might give like a giveaway. We do have some new products coming out we got some new products coming out for our anniversary, which is November, and it's the new product that I'm so excited to show you guys for the anniversary collection. Is going to be the perfect Christmas gifts. So I don't know if I want to do like a challenge on here that, you know, whatever client saves by that time frame, I'll give like a giveaway to maybe put you guys like in a bin or something. I really want to do that. I feel like it's a good way to hold each other accountable, and I feel like a challenge always pushes you guys. I personally don't sell savings challenges, but I still think that following along with your budget planner and doing these things. Oh, also, sorry guys, if you're new to my channel, I am a budget coach that also makes budget products that I have to keep my clients on track as well. Even if you don't have any of my products, I highly recommend watching this video because it's going to be so beneficial towards your financial growth in the next 5 months. So much can happen in 5 months, you guys. Like, I cannot stress this enough, but we're going to talk about it, and let me know in the comments, you guys, if you guys want to do like a challenge. I think it'll be really cool. I think it'll be really fun, and I think it will be a way to hold you guys accountable, and we have so many different fun ways to do that depending on your pay schedule. But anywho, let's get straight into it, you guys. I am going to be doing this as a weekly budget version. If you are paid bi-weekly, semi-monthly, all you're going to do is just basically flip the numbers around, but it's going to be really cool, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get you started, and we're going to get you going, you guys. So let's get straight into it. So guys, the first thing that we're going to do is fill out our budget calendar. We want to know what's coming in, what's going out, have a layout of our bills and our expenses. And then let me grab a pen that I'm going to use today. I'm just going to take this pen from right here. So we're going to go ahead and set this up for the month of August. So we'll be starting for August. If you haven't set up your August budget, you guys, let's start now. It's not too late to get started and come up with a routine. So August 1st was on a Friday. So we're going to go ahead and fill in our calendar. Put our dates in here. I'm so excited for this video. It's going to be such a good one. All right, perfect. Okay, so now that we have our dates in our calendar, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and fill this in. I feel like I'm always neglecting my weekly pay, budget babe, so I'm sorry, you guys. I promise that it is not intentional. I just feel like a lot of the pay schedules that I do are bi-weekly, so I always do bi-weekly examples, you guys. So if you are paid weekly and you're needing a little bit more visuals for your pay schedule, guys, please let me know in the comments. I try to make sure I'm fitting everyone's financial needs, and we have a video for every type of financial situation, so you have a guide that makes you feel confident each month. So this one I decided to do weekly because we always do bi-weekly. I think the last video was bi-weekly. So yeah, if you have a different pay schedule or something that you want me to make sure I'm incorporating in my videos, guys, make sure you let me know. I just do based off my clients, what I see in a routine schedule. So we do have 5 weeks on this pay period for August. If you are paid weekly, I actually do think you get another check at the end of the month. Just make sure your expenses are covered. If it's not going to be covered with this check on the 29th, you can either pocket that and put it in your savings, or whatever you want to do with that. But double check on your September bills. I think you guys, if you're paid on the 29th of August, you get paid September 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So if that September 5th paycheck will cover all of the bills that you have for the beginning of September, that means you have an extra paycheck. If it doesn't, then you don't have an extra paycheck. So now we're going to go ahead and write in our expenses that we have here. So we're going to start with our fixed bills and then our variables and all that fun stuff to do our monthly budget. So let's go ahead and fill this in the calendar. So we have rent due on the 1st, and we're going to break our rent down into 4 payments. I'm going to explain all of that fun stuff here. So we got rent, and then we also do have child care every week for $75 with her mother. Child care, shout out to the grandmas holding it down. You guys be holding it down for the mothers out here, the mothers. Appreciate you guys tons, even though I don't have kids, but it just, looking at these child care prices when I do budgets, it's so nice to see the grandmas helping when they can. Sorry, I be blabbing, you guys, just ignore me. So we got child care for $75 each week, and then we have Wi-Fi bill for $55, and then we have phone bill, which is going to be $110. We have the Capital One credit card. You can't forget the Capital One credit card. The Capital One credit card every time, you guys, $40. Then we have our subscriptions due for $20. The payday of the 8th, we also have a subscription due for $20 this date. Then we have our car note on this date. Be $360. Our car insurance for $147, and our utilities for $152. Boom. Okay guys, we have everything in our calendar, so let's go ahead and go to the monthly budget so we can add all this up for the month. The monthly budget is so important for getting an overview, just seeing how everything is set up here. So we're going to go ahead and go to that monthly section, fill everything in, and then we're going to do our paycheck breakdowns. I feel like every time I do a weekly budget, it goes by so quickly. Like, I don't know. You guys have to let me know if you feel like that too. Whenever I do like a 101 and it's a weekly budget, I'm like, oh my gosh, this budget is going to be so freaking quick. I don't know why, but I feel like weekly budgets are so fast. I don't know. But anywho, let's go ahead and set up for August. So we're going to go ahead and put this as August. And we're going to go ahead and put our goal. We want to save $1,000. Save 1K by December. And this will be the end of December basically, you guys. So our goal is to save $1,000 by the end of December. So 5-month process from August. So we'll be using our August income. We might even have that extra. I'm telling you, if that's an extra check, that's extra money, but I'm not going to include that extra check just because not everybody has it. So you'll just have to double confirm. So we'll go ahead and write our sources of income as weekly. We have a weekly source of income, which we're bringing in according to our budget about $865 weekly. $865 times 4. $865 times 4. We have about $34.60 as our income per month, which is a nice income here. $34.60. Now let's go ahead and write down our fixed bills that are usually the same every single month. So these are going to be our bills that we have that are usually the same. So let's go ahead and look, and we're going to write our dates on here. And we are going to write our rent down as weekly. It's due on the 1st, but we put money aside from each paycheck for it. So we're going to write it as weekly on here. So on this part, we're going to put weekly. And we're going to put our rent, which is $13.50. And then we have our child care. We're just gonna put weekly too. And if we're paying $75 weekly, we got $300 basically a month for childcare, because we're doing our monthly section, you guys. Remember, this is the monthly side. 84, we have Wi-Fi for 55. We have phone bill. Which is going to be 110. And we only have one credit card, so we're going to go ahead and put that on our variable side. Credit cards fall on our variable side, which is $40 per month. And then we also have subscriptions. I put subscriptions on the variable side as well, you guys, because you can cut those to save money. And subscriptions, we total to $40 a month. We have 2 subscriptions. And then we also have our car note on the 15th of each month. Car note $360. And then we have our car insurance, $822, which is $147. And then last but not least, we have our utilities on the 26th, which is $152. Okay, perfect. So we have all our bills for the month. We're going to go ahead and add this up and see what we total to for our bills, you guys. Let's see what we're working with in the bill category. And then we're going to go over to the fun stuff like gas, groceries, eating out, entertainment. If you guys don't know the average for your bills and expenses, go ahead and pull your bank statements, audit out your bank account. I have a full video that breaks down how to find all your numbers if you're confused. So we got $1350 plus $300 plus 55 plus 110 plus 360 plus 147 plus 152. So our fixed bills for the month totaled to $24.74. So we have in our bill category. Now our variables, this is going to be our gas, our groceries, our entertainment, our fun stuff that we have on here. For groceries, we're going to go ahead and put $360 for groceries per month. And we're going to break this down to weekly too, you guys. So groceries, we got $360. My writing always gets sloppy when I get to this side. $360. We got gas for $170. Eating out $90. We have spending $60. And then we have, alright you guys, let's go ahead and add it up. Looks so nice and neat. I love seeing everything just printed out. So our variables, 40 plus 40 plus 360 plus 170 plus 90 plus 60. So we have our variables as 760. 760 plus 24.74. Our expenses for the month total to $32.34. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and take our income, which is $34.60, and we're gonna minus it from the $32.34 because this is how much our expenses total to for the month. So are we gonna be able to reach our savings goal? $34.60 minus $32.34. We have $226 left at the end of each month. So boom. Our goal is to at least save about $200 per month. So if your budget doesn't have a cash surplus like this, make sure you try to cut where you can, adjust, make some movements, call around, so you can try to reach your goal. All we need is just about $200 at the end of each month to reach our goal of getting $1,000. So now let's break this down per paycheck. So when you are paid weekly, you guys, we have a process for when you're paid weekly. It's called the weeks of, and your paychecks are going to be numbered 1 to 4, and these bills are always going to be covered with those numbers. So let's go ahead and set up our weeks of. So the weeks of are going to be your Mondays to Sundays. So we'll start with July 28th to August 3rd, and then we have August 4th. And these are our Mondays to Sundays because we want to cover the beginning of the week to the end of the week. You can do this how you like to do it, but I like to do Mondays to Sundays. I think it makes the most sense, and it makes sure you covers everything for the whole entire week. So we're going to go ahead and write our dates on here. And for my bi-weekly people, you just do every other week. So you'll just put every other week. And then you'll put your paydays on here. We're going to break it down more into detail in a second. August 18th to August 24th, and then August 25th to August 31st. Okay, those are our weeks of. So now let's go ahead and number these so you can see which paychecks that we have here. And I like to put the paydays of as well. So we have 4 paychecks this month. We do have that additional one, but we're going to leave that out just for this budget example. We're just going to do the 4 weeks so you guys can see how you manage the 4 weeks. So here are our 4 weeks. So first, 8th, 15th, and 22nd. So right here, we're going to go ahead and put the payday of 8 first. I meant to put payday of. I put pay, but payday of 8/8. Payday of 8/15, and then the payday of 8/22. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and number our paycheck. So this is how you're gonna tell if you have an extra paycheck too. So this is going to be paycheck number 1 of August, paycheck number 2 of August, paycheck number 3 of August, and paycheck number 4. When I tell you guys, this is the best paycheck template you're going to ever use. It's so nice and it's so easy to follow. So now that we have our paychecks written down, we're going to go ahead and set up all of our paychecks and see what bills we're going to cover with each paycheck and how much we're going to put in our savings. Alright, you guys, so you know we're going to pull out our highlighters so we can color coordinate each paycheck. This is literally my hack to making sure that everything is organized. So we're going to go ahead and grab some highlighters. I'm going to go ahead and color coordinate. So our first payday falls on the 1st. So we're going to go ahead and cover everything from the 1st until the 8th because our next paycheck falls on the 8th. And these are glitter highlighters too, you guys. The glitter probably isn't going to show up on the camera since we're not in the sunlight or I don't have the flash showing, but it's very glittery in person. So we're going to go ahead and just highlight and section off what we're going to cover for each week. And then we're going to go ahead and write down our income. So because we are paid weekly, we get paid $8.65 every single week. So we're going to put $8.65, $8.65, $8.65 is our weekly income. Okay. Perfect. All right, so now the fun way that we're going to speed up our weekly budget, we're going to already put the stuff that repeats every single week, so it's already in our weekly breakdown so we don't feel overwhelmed. So if we spend $13.50 a month on rent, $13.50, and we get 4 paychecks, that's about $337 that we're putting each week towards rent. So we're going to go ahead and do rent. For each paycheck, we can go ahead and write it on our fixed side. Our fixed side is where we're going to write our bills for the month, you guys. This is where we put all our bills. If you have a bill account, it's perfect to just slide it in there when you get paid. We're putting up money for rent to cover each month, basically. So if you're paid weekly, the best way I think to do is to split your rent into 4 payments. So just basically put up the money. So when the first is due, you'll just pay your full amount. Okay. So rent is one thing that we're going to divide. And we also have child care weekly. So 300 divided by 4, we're going to spend about $75 on child care. And once again, before you guys try to come to me in the comments, her mom watches the babies. So that's why it is so, it is so cheap for childcare. So childcare $75 weekly. Childcare $75. And of course your numbers are going to look different, but adjust them as needed to follow the plan. Childcare $75. Perfect. So those are our fixed that are going to repeat every single paycheck. So you can always get ahead and just write that down so you have your fixed in there. So usually I do this per week, you guys, but we're going to go ahead and break down our variables to each week. So let's go ahead and do the stuff that repeats every single week. So we got groceries, which are $360 per month. We're going to do groceries $360 divided by 4. So that means each paycheck on our variable side, we're going to go ahead and write groceries for $90. This just gets you ahead on finishing your planner and just writing down what you plan to cover for each paycheck. And of course, we're going to add everything up and make sure it fits nicely. So we got groceries for $90. Groceries $90. You're going to keep doing this process with all of your variables. So for our next variables, we got gas, $170 divided by 4. It's going to be about $42 for gas. So we're going to go ahead and do gas as 42. And this should be rounded up, you guys, to like 42.50. I'm not going to put the extra cents just because cents drive me crazy on the planner. But if you want to get super detailed, you can go ahead, or you can round up. I'm just going to put the standard without the cents. So 42 for gas each week. And then eating out, it's $90 each week. 90 divided by 4 is about $22 for eating out. And that's how you make sure your variables match your weekly. So that's a good way to divide, figure out, okay, do I have a nice even spread on my expenses? So we're gonna go ahead and put eating out for $22 each paycheck. So super easy. And then our subscriptions and credit cards, we'll have to go in and adjust those. And we also do have a spending budget of $60, and we're actually going to do our spending budget bi-weekly just because we'll just put it in there. So we have $30 like every 2 weeks if we want to buy something that paycheck. So for our spending, we're just going to do it bi-weekly. So we're going to do 30 this week and 30 this week since it's only 60 for the month. And then spending 30. Spending. And you see bi-weekly, we just skip the week and we do it the other week. Super easy and simple to follow. You can add bi-weekly stuff to your budget even if you're paid weekly, if it's easier for you to organize. All right, you guys, so now we got out the stuff that repeats every single paycheck. So now let's go ahead and write down what we're going to cover each paycheck now for our bills. We already have our variables, which makes this process 10 times easier. You can do it that way, or you can do it go by each week and set it up, but it's really nice just to see it broken down and you're already ahead. So let's go ahead and break down what we're going to be spending each week. So the fun stuff for our bills. Okay, so of course we do have our bills that repeat each paycheck, but we also have some other stuff that falls through for our paycheck. So we're gonna go ahead and focus on paycheck number 1. Once again, we have our rent split, our child care, so we're gonna cover that with this check. We also have our Wi-Fi coming out with this check, our phone bill, and then we also have our Capital One credit card, and we also have a subscription of $20. And that's all before we get paid again, which will fall on the 8th. So we're going to go ahead and put Wi-Fi in here for $55. And then we have our phone bill, which was $110, that also fell on this paycheck. And we also had our Capital One credit card. So Capital One CC, which is a $40 minimum. And then we also have our subscriptions for $20 this week. Okay, nice, very simple, very easy. Now let's add it up and see what we totaled to for this week. So we're gonna go ahead and add up our fixed bills, and we're gonna go ahead and add up our variables and see how much of our check goes to our bills versus our expenses. So for this paycheck, we had 337 plus 75 plus 55 plus 110. So out of this paycheck, 577 of this is going to go towards our fixed bills. Our variables, 90 plus 42 plus 22 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. We have about 244 going to our variables. 244 plus 577, our expenses for this paycheck total to about 821. How much of this gets to go in our savings? We take our check, which was 865, minus 821, and this is what's going to go directly in our savings, which 821. We have $44 left over in our savings until we are paid again. So we're not going to touch that because this is going to go to our $1,000 savings goal that we have. Okay, nice and simple. All right, you guys, so now we're going to go to our next week, which is the payday of the 8th, and we're just going to go ahead and use a different color highlighter so we're spread out a little bit more. So our payday of the 8th. All right, we have to cover everything from the 8th until the 15th. Okay, go ahead and section this off, the 8th until the 15th. So fun. Okay, so we already have our child care that's going to come out. We already put that on here already. So we have our child care, and then we're going to go ahead and write our subscription. We have a subscription for $20, which is basically like the only thing due on our calendar. So subscription, $20. Okay, and then our car note is $360. If we have $865, that is a heavy basically expense. So what I like to do is whenever our halfway bill, like if our expense is going to be half of our income, we try to split that. So because our paychecks will be half of that car note, we're going to split our car note into two so it doesn't eat up our whole paycheck. Okay, so 360 divided by 2, we're going to split our car note for 180, and that's the formula for whenever you're trying to decide if you should pay off your car note. Split it. If you're paid weekly or bi-weekly, you'll just split it. You can even do your car payment into 4, but for this one we're just going to split it into 2. It works to do 2 payments for the car payment, so we'll do it that way. So we're going to already get ahead and split our car payment, and we're also going to get ahead and split our car insurance this week too. So for this week we're also going to put car insurance for $73, just so we get ahead on there. Okay, and that's how you kind of know that formula. So 337 plus 75 plus 180 plus 73. For bills this paycheck, we're going to spend about $665 on bills. So now let's add up our variables. And that's the perfect way to get ahead. To you guys, just if you know, when you guys see me do this breakdown, you'll understand more. So while we split it, it's just nice. It keeps everything organized, and that way you don't have a super heavy paycheck, and that way you're ahead on your bills. I always say get ahead where you can because it'll make it easier for you in the long run. So now that we went ahead and split that, let's go ahead and do our variables. So we got groceries for $90, gas for $42, eating out for $22, subscriptions for $20. So in our variable side, we'll spend $174. 174 plus 665. We're going to put $839 as our expense total, and then once again, formula $865 minus $839 is what will go in our savings. $865 minus $839, we'll have about $26 in our savings. So we should be averaging about $50 left over at the end of each paycheck to reach our goal, but ideally that's not always going to work for everybody. So I try to show the realisticness of maybe your bills will be, or your savings will be spread out a little bit more. So if you can do it exactly $50 each paycheck, do it, but that's not always the case. So that's why we're going to make sure we're just going in detail and showing how you'll still reach that goal even with your income being spread out. So let's go to the next week. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next week, which is the payday of the 15th. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this. Okay, so once again, we have that child care that's coming out, and then we're going to finish off the rest of our car note, because remember we split our car note into two. So the rest of our car note will be covered with this week, which is going to be $180. And then we're also going to finish off our car insurance on the next paycheck. Since the car insurance isn't due to the next week, we'll top that off on that next week. And that's all for this week. Rent, childcare, car payment, groceries, gas, our eating out, and our spending. That's all we have for this week. So let's go ahead and add this up. For bills, we spend $337 plus $75 plus $180. We spend $592 this check on bills. And then our variables, 90 plus 42 plus 22 plus 30. We spend 184 on variables. 184 plus 592. 776 goes to bills and expenses. 865 minus 776. 865 minus 776 is going to be $89 in our savings. Okay, and that's how much we'll save for that paycheck. We can see how close we are to our goal for $200. 44 plus 26 plus 89. We're already at $159, so we just have about $50 to reach our $200 goal that we're going to save each month. So we're doing good. Let's keep going. All right, you guys, so now we're on our last paycheck. Our last payday falls on the 22nd. Then go ahead and highlight this. Once again, we got rent and our child care. And then we're also going to top off our car insurance. And then we have our utilities that come out this week. Ooh, you guys will start to see the glitter. The sunlight coming out. So nice. All right, so car insurance, we have $73 left for that car insurance that we're going to top off. So car insurance, 73. And then we also have that utility bill, which was $152. All right, and then we don't have anything else due. So 337 plus 75 plus 73 plus 152. Our fixed bills for this paycheck total to 637. Our variables, 90 plus 42 plus 22. 154 for our variables. 791 is our expense total. 865 minus 791. We'll put $74 in our savings. Perfect. Now we are done. That is all 4 of our paychecks for this month. Nice. Look how nice and organized it is. Paycheck 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then we do have that other paycheck, which depending on what the bill cycle is for September, that might be an extra paycheck, so you have to do your research to see which one it is. I'm not going to do it for this example just because we're focusing on the 4-week plan, but yeah, you can double check to make sure. Now let's go ahead and look over our savings and see if we were able to reach our $200 that we were supposed to save for the month, you guys. So how we know if we reached our savings, we were putting up money for each paycheck. We're supposed to have about $226 left over. So our first paycheck, we put $44 away. Our second paycheck, we put $26. Our third paycheck, we put away $89. And then our last paycheck, we put $74. So that gives us about $233. We did have just a little bit extra, you guys, because on some of these I didn't put the like 42.5 like for the expenses, so we have just a little bit more. So we have $233 left over at the end of the month. So that will help us be able to reach our goal let's go ahead and break it down on how we're going to make this possible to reach our $1,000 in 5 months. Now, I recommend that you save your $1,000 just because it's going to feel so nice having your first $1,000 if you never saved it, you guys. So literally averaging about $50 per paycheck if possible, or just seeing what your pay schedule goes on. It's very doable, guys. Just got to hang in there for each week. So we're going to start with the month of August, and our starting balance is $233 just because we had a little extra. But we're going to focus mainly on that $200. So if our goal is $1,000, if we take 1,000 and we divide it by 233, that's about 4.5 months. So we'll still round up to 5. We'll reach our goal by December. So we're going to go ahead and write in our little dots here that we're going to put our goal as 233 per month. And let's say we use that other 33 as a cushion. So if we have like any emergencies come up, we have that 233, but our main goal is to save $200 per month. So 233, and let's say that is our emergency savings that we're saving for. $1,000, 233 times 5 months. We'll reach our goal by December. Okay, and then maybe you could put that $33 towards something else if you want to, but our main goal is to get to that $1,000. So it is possible, you guys. It is very, very, very possible. All right, budget babes, so that is how we set up a simple weekly budget to get to our goal of saving $1,000. Once again, this isn't just a one and all type of situation. Of course, everybody would have their own timeline that it would take. I still do challenge you guys, if you can, try to put up $50 per paycheck, give it a go. I highly recommend getting a budget planner to help you stay on track. If it's one more thing that you can invest into, it's going to keep you organized, expense tracking, and you're going to be able to document all your process. And I do offer 15% off for all of my YouTube budget babes. So if you guys use the code YTFAM, you'll get 15% off your orders today, and you can get started on your budget journey all the way into December. Even if you reach your goal in January, that's still a good goal to have $1,000 by that time frame. So I believe in you. And if you guys didn't watch the saving, having a Christmas fund, I do have another video which talks about putting away a small portion per paycheck to save for Christmas fund. So even if you don't want to use this $1,000 for your emergency fund, you can use this $1,000 for shopping. Whatever it is, set a goal for it and stick to it. A lot of times people lack consistency when it comes to their goals. So setting up a goal is the best foundation I can have to tell you guys to stay consistent. But that is our budget here that we set up, and I'm excited to see how this goes. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you are going to try this process, and I will see you guys next Wednesday on my next YouTube video, you guys. Bye, my loves.